Shares of Alibaba rallying today after the Chinese tech giant announced its updated consumer chatbot has reached 10 million downloads just a week after it was relaunched. Deirdre Bosa has more in today's Tech Check. So I guess that catches your attention, that number, Deirdre.
It does. It's a pretty explosive uptake, and that's, of course, its new Qwen chatbot. It's also a proof point for Alibaba, much like Gemini 3 was for Google last week. Not just a good product launch, but evidence the company has something that its rivals don't, and that is a full stack or end-to-end system. You're going to be hearing a lot more about that advantage in the weeks and months to come. Now, Alibaba may still be best known here in the U.S. as China's Amazon, but its reach is a lot broader. It controls the hardware, cloud models, and the consumer apps that touch hundreds of millions of people every day, the same advantage that powered Google's comeback. And while Google may be further along on the silicon front with its TPUs, Alibaba is developing a new AI chip to help fill the NVIDIA void in China. It's a more versatile inference processor built by a Chinese foundry and designed to stand in for the restricted NVIDIA chips. Now, that development also part of a much larger push inside of China to build a self-sufficient AI supply chain, one where Alibaba would be sitting right in the center, and it's also one that is becoming less and less dependent on American tech. Now, Alibaba reports tomorrow morning, and the question for investors is whether the same bull thesis powering Google can now travel to Alibaba. Now, shares, as you can see, they've already nearly doubled this year, like Alphabet's, but its valuation still lags at about 23 times forward earnings. If Alibaba's AI moment holds up, this could reopen the China tech trade at large, and this is key. It could force investors to contend with a different kind of AI development, one that is open source and far cheaper to develop. On the back of that Amazon AI spending headline, it is worth reminding our audience that Alibaba and other Chinese AI players, they're building and deploying AI systems for a fraction of the costs that their U.S. counterparts are.
Yep, you've been all over that theme, Deirdre. I do wonder, the Commerce Secretary today said that the idea of letting NVIDIA export to China was on the president's desk. But where does this development lead us on that front? Is it too late?
It may be too little, too late. Exactly, Carl. I mean, we've already been hearing out of China that Beijing is trying to restrict some of the biggest Chinese tech companies to develop using American hardware like NVIDIA GPUs. So once they open it up, and that is still a big question, when does that actually happen? Does it get pulled back again? The Chinese don't want to wait for that. They are moving ahead, and they're having more and more success with their own development of their own silicon, their own hardware, and they're creating ecosystems for it as well. That is really the NVIDIA advantage. And by the way, I know you guys know this, but there's potential for the Chinese to export their own hardware, not to America, but to other countries around the world. And again, that threat that we keep coming back to, what are AI systems globally going to be built on? Are they going to be built on the U.S. stack or the Chinese stack? That is a really key question.